And there's this thing that I met a woman who had advised me. I wasn't even married at that time. And what she said was that when she got married, she and her husband had everything to do. Their names, their properties were Mr. and Mrs. with a surname, Mr. and Mrs. with a surname. When they went to court, they said the Mrs. could be anybody. And so it should have been Mr. Senna and Mrs. Roslyn Hotu. Please clarify that for us.
Okay. So, yes, for nomenclature purposes or for naming and writing purposes, it's okay, it's nice to have it there. But the most important thing is, when was those properties acquired? So you can, as a man or a woman, you can just go and buy a property and you don't even tell your spouse about it, put only your name on it. It doesn't have any effect. It still belongs to the two of you. Once it was acquired during marriage, and then it wasn't acquired as a sole self-acquired property, then it belongs to the two of you. So it doesn't matter what name is on the document, whether you put just your name, you put Mr., or you put Mr. and Mrs., or you put the full names.
What if you put your child?
You put in your child on the...
Or your mother, or your sister, or your brother.
Then again, it brings us back to the concept of tracing. Who is the person holding it in trust for you? And so you may be using that process to hide assets. But once the legal process of tracing commences, and we can establish that, no, you just put in the person's name there to just avoid or evade the process of courts, then the courts, with all of its might and power, will come after that asset. Yes.
Okay.
So it means that this thing is
you can't hide it.
I'm just wondering because but some people have been able to get away with it.
You see, it appears you've gotten away with it because the other party is not putting up a fight or getting a lawyer that knows their stuff. You understand? But if you have a lawyer that knows their stuff, like myself, you won't get away with it.
But you know, recent case of this footballer, I've forgotten his name.
Yes, Hakimi.
Where his properties were in the name of his mother. What about that?
That will work in his country, not here.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Here it's different.
Yes.
Oh, then that's good.
Because you see,